Hi, Eric Beard back again. Had a question the other day about myofascial release techniques or soft tissue techniques for the cervical spine and the base of the skull. The question was it safe to use this object here, the stick, which basically has some beads like a rolling pin, which you use over muscles to break up adhesions and relax muscles on an area like the cervical spine. And what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about that, and I want to talk about another object, which I'll stash in my pocket until that time comes, and see what you think about that. So the cervical spine is a pretty complex area of the body. Not many people are very comfortable with the anatomy here. You know, if you look in here in the purple, those are the cervical vertebrae. The tips right here are the spinous processes, and the ones that are lateral are going to be the transverse processes. And you're going to have, this area is going to be rich with proprioceptors, cells that take in and process our sense of cumulative information that comes into us, especially right here at the base of the skull, those suboccipital muscles. You have other muscles like the scalenes over here on the side, the trapezius comes over on top, and some of the thick erector spinae, and there's some thick fascial tissue that attaches to this area too. Levator scapulas, a bunch of muscles into this area overlay on top of each other. And with the seated posture we have, this area usually tends to get aggravated. So people want to provide a release there, and the stick can be a popular tool in health clubs and rehabilitation facilities. But I want you to think about this sound. Does that sound good? Plastic on bone, plastic on bone. I'd be very careful with a tool like this. The muscle bellies are not very easy to access, especially on the tips of the spinous processes. They're down here in this lamina groove on the side of the spine, so the stick doesn't really get in there very well. And if you do come lateral over here on the side of the spine by the scalenes, you do have, see this is the brachial plexus, the nerves that innervate the upper extremity. And if you try to go over here, you can cause some impingement of the brachial plexus, as well as, you might even see here, cause some problems with the arterial. You probably can't see that one. You're going to have blood flow up to the brain with the arterial artery. That's not so good to mess with any arteries of the brain. So I butcher the name of the artery, but that's okay. Any of the neurovascular structures that come up to the brain will come back down to the body. You don't want to impinge upon. So nothing in the anterior portion of the front part of the neck. No, definitely not on the side. And I don't think you're going to be able to get into the tissue very safely with an object like this. If you were hard pressed for some myofascial release or soft tissue work, you could use a therapy ball like this. There's a lot of squish, there's a lot of give to it. It's pretty light. So if you were to go across the base of the skull or were to go down the spinous processes, you're not going to damage anything. It's a lot easier to use, it's a lot safer. And if you were going to do it, I wouldn't give it to a beginner. I would only go to do this with someone who has some awareness, who has some control, who has some understanding of the basic anatomy, and you would use it on that posterior aspect of the spine. I would not use it laterally here by the transverse processes or the scalenes or the brachial plexus or the nerves, arteries, and veins in the anterior portion. Not good, not good. Think of the chokehold. They're trying to occlude this area along with the airway. That's not so good. We don't want pressure on the lateral and anterior portion of the neck. If you were to use something very soft in the posterior portion or across the base of the skull, something that's got a good amount of give, like this therapy ball, then you're talking. That's something you can probably get away with. I'd be cautious about that application. If you're unsure about exactly where to use it, how much pressure to put on it, then ask a professional. But I would be reticent to recommend the stick tool for this part of the body. So I hope that's helped. And myofascial release techniques are a great way to loosen up tight muscles and improve the health of your soft tissue and function. But I'd be cautious about what to use and where. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.